Good afternoon, teachers. This is Deepthi here, explaining you about gross motor activities. So what are gross motor activities? Gross motor skills actually require the movements of the hands and legs basically. It is a complete coordination and control over your body, right from your shoulder muscles till to your toes, that means the whole limbs. So now here, how to develop your gross motor skills. I mean to enhance your gross motor skills. Basically, it is helpful to build child's balance over his body, his eye and hand coordination, as well as his eye and foot coordination. So, we conducted some of the gross motor activities in a school, so which will help you in a great way. And I suggest all the pre-primary teachers to include these gross motor activities in their day-to-day timetable because it plays a very important role for the child's physical development.
Gross motor skills are the movements that involve using the large muscles of the body. It requires the whole body movement and large muscles of the body to perform everyday functions such as standing, walking, running and sitting upright. It also includes eye-hand coordination skills such as throwing, catching and kicking. Boys generally develop gross motor skills much sooner than girls.
So to begin with the gross motor skills activities, we started with warm-up exercises where the teacher asked the children to have the movement of their hands and legs, which is basically done to improve their strength and as well as to prevent them from injuries when they are going to perform furthermore activities.
This is one good activity for listening, for body awareness and movement planning. They have to follow the leader or the teacher to do the warm-up exercises.
After warm-up exercises, we took the children to the playground where they started doing sliding exercises. We made children to move in a line and go one by one into the slide. So what you can observe is few children, when they are climbing up the stairs to go for a slide, few of the children are taking one step at a time and few are very free in their movement when they are climbing up the stairs, like they are taking alternate feet together. So this shows their control over the body So if the child is not confident enough to put his alternate legs very freely, then it is understood that this particular child has some problem, in his further development. As I already told you that gross motor skills and fine motor skills are interlinked. Unless until the child is perfect with gross motor activities, he will not be perfect with his fine motor activities. So it's must you should include the playtime in your regular preschool timetable.
Looking into the playground activities of climbing and sliding, the teacher gets to understand the amount of flexibility and independence in using lower limbs spontaneously. It also helps understand the reflex of using alternate feet in climbing and the ability to balance weight on one leg while climbing, or inability of using alternate feet, which suggests weak calf muscles or reflex delay.
Now after the sliding activity, we moved on to climbing activity, climbing the arch, where the children were asked to climb the arch one after the other. Here you need to be very careful. The teacher must take proper care of the children because I think initially they have hiccups in going round about the arc. Even we face problem when we went to the school to do this particular activity. Later on, after 1 or 2 trials, the children were confident to do it on their own. So now here what the child has done is, again he climbed the arc. Like when he was in the middle, he was finding it very difficult how to turn and get down from the other side. So here he needed lot of enthusiasm from the adults standing over there, as well as from his friends. So we cheered them up and made them do this activity, which has come out very well. And the purpose of doing this exercise is basically to improve their flexibility and their balance over their body, and how confident are they when they are climbing and getting down from the arch.
This activity helps the teacher to see how sportive is the child in climbing different structures and modulating the body movements according to the structure of the jungle gym. reflex, and flexibility to adapt with confidence is the whole exercise.
The next activity is the balancing activity, where for this activity we have drawn 2 lines on the floor and we ask the child to walk in between the lines to check their balance over their body, how they are controlling and are they balancing right in between lines. You can find few children walking here and there, and few children were not able to take alternate feet. They were walking very slowly one after the other, and later on after few trials they developed it. But somehow I suggest teachers to also note down the challenges what the child is facing, because it is very important to have a track what they are doing and how they are doing, and you have to inform your parents about it so that it will help the child in his future.
Balancing the weight of the body against movement is the biggest challenge children face. They will learn to stop the movement and start the movement against the weight.
Now the next activity is the jump over activity, where we have used newspapers, which is easily available for anybody in their schools. What you do is you have to spread the newspapers on the ground in a circle manner, or else if you want in a vertical manner according to your wish. Just spread over the newspapers with little gap in between them. Then you call up each child and ask them to jump over with their 2 feet together and check their skills. Are they able to do this activity perfectly or not? If the child is facing a problem and if he is not able to jump over with his 2 feet, suppose few children, what they do is they take only one leg at a time and they just cross over the mat or else the newspaper. Now here you can relate to his learning. He will be definitely having some challenges in his studies or else in his learning.
Walking over different surfaces requires a lot of effort and increases overall body strength. Inability signifies challenge in balancing the weight and poor calf muscle strength or calcium deficiency.
Now the next activity is Hula Hoop activity, where I first started this with a very lighter note. Like, I made the children to jump over the hula hoops. I placed them vertically on the ground and they started jumping over one hoop over the other, like, taking little time with both the feet together. They jumped into one circle into the other circle. In case if you're not having hula hoops, you can make use of chalk piece and draw it on the ground, and you can ask the child to jump over it. Again here, this activity is particularly done to strengthen his calf muscles and to check his control over the body. When he is jumping over with 2 feet, whether he is able to control the body or else he's falling off. So this exercise is also very good exercise and very fun to do. Your children will definitely enjoy it.
These exercises help develop and also identify delays in muscular exercises, postural control, bodily awareness, and balance.
Now the next activity is again with the hula hoop, wherein this time we made it a little bit challenging for them. Like, we place the hula hoop straight, or else you can draw the circle as I have told you before. Now what the child will do is he has to take his alternate steps into the circles. We do this particular exercise to check his eye-hand foot coordination as well as his control over the body when he is stepping into each circle and finishing the cycle.
This activity helps children improve their calf muscles and build flexibility in legs. It also trains a child to balance the weight of the body according to the movement of the body.
Now again the next activity is also with the hula hoop with a little bit more advancement. Now they started with diagonal jump. Like, we did not place the hula hoops straight this time. They were placed diagonal to one another. Now again the child has to jump over into the circles with, taking the alternate turns. He has to jump side by side in a zigzag manner. So this also improves his eye and foot coordination, his calf muscles, which will in turn will help him to build his future learning.
The ability to move the body with appropriate sequencing and timing to perform bodily movements with refined control is the key of this activity. The ability to stabilize the trunk and neck to enable coordination of their limbs is required in this activity. These activities show a strong coordination between the brain, eye, and the limbs.
The next activity is also again with the hula hoops. The same placement, like when you placed it vertically, you have done with alternate feet. Now here, you are placing them diagonal to each other, and now they are going to walk with their alternate feet into each circle one at a time. So, this was little bit challenging for them, for a 4 or 5-year-old. But with practice, they did it well. So I suggest you all to do these activities, which will help them to build their confidence as well as their control over their body and the eye and foot coordination. Now again, next activity is with the hula hoops, which is passing through the hula hoops. Like we asked few higher class kids to help us in holding the hula hoops. When they were holding the hula hoop, we asked one of the preschool child to pass into the hula hoops with bear walking, which involves his hands and legs, and they have to walk like a bear into the hula hoops. This will strengthen their shoulder muscles, the arm muscles, the calf muscles, as well as their tummy, their hips, their shoulders. It is basically to give the strength to the whole body, which will in turn will help the child to build his body strength and have fun at the same time.
The child should be able to control voluntary and involuntary movements of the body to balance against different activities. The child should be able to do certain obstacle clearance walk for his age.
Now the next activity we did is the Hankey activity, wherein the involvement of only the hands are required. What the child will do here is, the teacher will keep on counting 1 and 2 like up and down. The child must be able to hold the hankies tight in his hand and with his fingers to do the movements of the hands, which will again develop his concentration capacity while holding the hanky, as well as it will build his strength in the shoulders and the hands.